Hey, YouTube. This is Will Bannon. We're here at Drinking at Moe's.
All right, everybody. Want to thank the sponsor today, Reaper Apparel. Want to encourage everybody to break out of the comfort zone, live their best self, which I very much support. They got great apparel, hats, shirts, beanies, hoodies, all that good shit. Be sure when you go on to reaperapparel.com, use the code DRINKIN for 10% off your order. Let's fucking go. All right, everybody, welcome to Drinking at Moe's. Big Mo here. Be sure you to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good shit, because helps with that pain in the ass algorithm. We're pretty much most places you can find your podcast, Spotify, Google, all that. Today, excited to have with me Will Bannon. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I got a exciting little Saturday coming up, going to Sammy Callahan's promotion, Revolver. They got a show in Des Moines that's a couple hours from me, and I had the ring announcer Sean T on not all that long ago, and he's covering my ticket. So I'm like, well, if you're telling me that, then I guess it's kind of hard to pass that up.
You kind of have to go.
Yeah. Yep. No, I'm excited. They got a pretty stacked card. The first thing I like to start off with everybody with is what got you started as a fan, and then what made you decide to finally make the leap into getting into the ring.
All right, so I've been watching it since I was like 6 years old. First time I ever saw wrestling, I was at my cousin's house, and Ric Flair was doing an interview, and I just got hooked right then and there. I thought it was amazing. I was a fan. Yeah, ever since then, I never stopped. I was passionate about it. So when I got older, around where I was living at, there's no wrestling schools whatsoever. Now, I always wanted to be a wrestler, so I kind of had to make a choice. So I decided to go to the military for a while. Did that for about 8 years. Then when I got out and moved to North Carolina, I saw there was a wrestling school an hour away from me. And I'm like, well, I got to do it. If I don't, I'm going to regret it. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I totally get you there. I know seeing promos from guys like Ric Flair, that would hook just about anybody. I feel like just the energy that guy had, especially back then doing his promos, it was just infectious. And then you brought up military. What branch were you in?
That was the Army.
Army. Navy guy here, but I got plenty of some of my best friends Army, so nothing but love.
Oh yeah, same here, man.
Yeah, one of the guys that's gonna help me out a little bit here on the show, doing some of my other non-interview segments, was a groomsman at my wedding, another fellow veteran. He was Army, and yeah, he offered because I have a lot on my plate when it comes to the show and outside of it. So he's like, hey, how about, and up until now, it's all been, besides obviously guests like you, it's all been me. Like, I'm the one doing the editing, the distribution, the social media work. It's all me. So he's like, how about
that's really like jobs? Yeah. Well, that's literally 3 full-time jobs wrapped into one. I don't know how you do all that, but damn.
Yeah, it's a process. Editing, I've got it down to where unless there's like technical issues, I can get it down pretty quick. But
Yeah.
yeah, all the other stuff, reaching out for guests, going and doing all the other social media work. And I remember Spotify, they did those year-end wrap things. And on
Yeah.
mine, it said something about how my podcast was in like the top 5% most shared globally. And I'm like, shit, if I can do that by myself, just imagine if I actually have some help.
Yeah, true. But no, you're doing great, man.
I appreciate it. It's a lot of work, and I'm glad it's getting a good response. Um, One thing I was definitely wanting to talk about here is today in independent wrestling, there's a bit more to choose from as opposed to
Yeah.
like when we were growing up. Like I remember I didn't actually get introduced to independent wrestling until I was stationed in Southern California. And I
Right.
just happened to find a couple promotions there. And now,
Mhm.
good Lord, I live in Omaha, Nebraska. We have two in town, and we got another two or three within a couple hours from here. So it's like there's so much to
It's
choose
everywhere.
from. Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
it's everywhere. All the streaming services like Fight TV, Pro Wrestling TV, IWTV. It's just everywhere.
Oh, I'm glad too. I mean, back in the day, after WCW was done, it was just WWE for the most part. He had no other choice. But I'm glad everything else is building, especially independence.
Oh yeah, and I mean you get some of the places that are really blowing up because of some of these streaming services. Like GCW is doing amazing things. CZW is getting back out there because it seemed like I don't know if it was just a weird coincidence, but it seemed like when they tried to get out of the deathmatch stuff, they seemed to kind of taper off. But now they're bringing
Yeah.
back, especially the tournament of death and everything. And now it's seeming
Yep.
to spike back up for them. And then you
I
have,
mean, yeah. I mean, that's the fan base. Sorry, that's their fan base. They had a deathmatch fan base, and they kind of went away from that. It wasn't really shocking that it kind of went down a little bit.
you bring that up. Yeah, it wasn't too terribly shocking to me when I originally heard about it. But then I'm glad things are going back up for them. I actually, at one point or another, I've interviewed about half the tournament of the last tournament of death, and including the
Okay.
winner.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I know him. I know a lot of the guys in there.
oh yeah, no, and I was so happy that I got to have them on, and I've seemed to
Oh, yeah.
have developed a little bit of a following in the deathmatch community. I mean, I'm a fan of death matches, but
Yeah.
with having some of the people that I've been able to have on, like so Bev, like I had Madman Pondo on not long ago. Had
I saw that
but
one.
that was a good one. He's an
Yeah.
interesting character. I'll just put it that way. Um, and then personal bucket list one for me that I was like, I almost dropped my phone when he said that he'd do it. Alex Cologne. He
Okay. Yeah.
he was a
Yeah.
bucket list one for
Definitely.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I actually got signed ring worn kick pads of his now, so I'm like, oh, that's gonna be centerpiece in
Nice.
my wrestling autographs when I get my man cave set up.
Yeah.
But another thing I wanted to talk about is deathmatch wrestling in general. Kind of came
Yeah.
from where it was kind of like the backyard wrestling where people kind of shit on it, really, for the lack of a better way to put it. And now you have
Yeah.
places like GCW, like CZW, and even XPW coming back and doing some of the insane stuff that they're doing. It's like there's
Yeah.
been a bit of a mainstream and a boom in deathmatch wrestling. And you've had your share of matches in the deathmatch style. What is that? What is it like being a part of something that has come from like somewhat humble beginnings and like I mentioned, backyards and stuff, and now hell, they were having death matches in the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad to be part of it, but like, especially when the early stuff in Japan in the 80s, that's
Mm.
exactly what I studied. I still do. Like, especially Terry Funk. I love Terry Funk. He's the GOAT. I don't care what anybody says. To me, he is the GOAT no matter what. But
Oh,
yeah, and being part of the deathmatch scene, it's a dream come true. That's why I when I decided to get in pro wrestling, I wanted to do death matches, but I want to be trained the right way to do them, so I don't look like an idiot when I'm just hitting people with shit. I actually want to
yeah,
make a match mean something.
you know,
So
and
yeah,
that is a common thing that I've noticed with a lot of the guys in the deathmatch scene that I've talked to is that they all and very smart thinking that they want to be able to make sure that they're trained correctly so that way, like you mentioned, you're not just going out there and be like, okay, you have a light tube, I have a light tube, bam, just
right,
randomly hitting people with shit. Still
right,
telling, having those elements in there, but being able to have those around a story that you're trying to tell. You can really tell the guys that really take that seriously.
yeah, I know, but yeah, like that's my biggest thing. Like I really want my matches to mean something. And the people I worked with so far has helped me come a long way, and I appreciate every single one of them. Like all my death matches I had so far have been amazing because of them, you know,
Yeah.
because we work together. That's what makes it.
Oh no, that is definitely true. You have, it's more so in singles wrestling. You're counting on that person that you're standing across from, and you're both counting on each other to make each other look good. And
Yeah,
you've had some pretty good partners in that aspect.
exactly.
Um, some of the people that I have in my, I have two categories, and we kind of brought up a couple of them, but I want to, what we do, name game. I name off some people, and you give me your thoughts on them. Sometimes I try to tailor it to the guest. And you know what? I figured we've been talking about some death matches. Why don't I theme it towards death matches? First one, Alex Cologne.
Very, very hard worker. Like it's sad to see him go when he does retire, but hard worker, very professional. I like the guy.
Oh, yeah. One of my absolute favorites. And I know he talked about taking a little bit of a break. So hopefully
Yeah,
he comes back. But, when you think about it, if there's somebody that's definitely deserved to take that break and hell right off into the sunset if he wants to, he's definitely earned it.
oh yeah, I agree.
Next one up, mentioned that I've also had him on the show, Madman Pondo.
Oh, he is one of the best right now. Like he's the whole like deathmatch had the Mount Rushmore, he would be on it. And he's definitely a guy to learn from and just study all day long.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. And when I did my little introduction on his episode, he tried to downplay the whole legend thing, but I'm like, dude, when people think about current day deathmatch wrestling, you're one of the people that pops up into their heads. Another guy that I would actually, both of the next two guys I would like to think are pretty much the same way. First one, I like to say he's a bit of a damn machine with the schedule he puts himself through. John Wayne Murdoch.
Oh God, yeah, he's definitely on my bucket list for opponents. Definitely, another Mount Rushmore one in my opinion. He works hard. He makes everything look great. He's an awesome dude.
Oh yeah, no, and I've talked with him about coming on, and we've about had it a couple times, but no fault of his own. The like I said, the schedule he puts himself through. He's a busy dude, so it'll happen eventually.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Next, last but not least, they call him the king, the god of this shit, Nick fucking Gage.
Dude, he's an awesome guy. We actually hung out not too long ago during Thanksgiving weekend. He's an amazing guy. Like he watched some of my matches and he gave me the, approval and all that. That was great. One of the best dudes I ever met in this business. He was awesome.
That is awesome. I love hearing stuff like that because, you see it from, behind the scenes stuff, and then you see like when that music of his hits, and it's like a damn mosh pit in there.
Well, I know.
And the energy that he has, holy shit. And I've heard plenty, just like you, that nothing but glowing things to say about him. And we talk a little bit about bucket lists for opponents for you and stuff. He's definitely on a bucket list, even for me to just get a meet, because not only am I such a huge fan of his, professionally, but personally, he's a prime example of a good redemption story, because he's battled back from some pretty intense stuff, and now he is trying to make a positive out of everything that's happened to him, and he's doing a good job.
He is, yeah, I agree.
Next up, I have a bit of a random question category. You answer how you see fit. Some might be wrestling related, some might not be. First up, craziest in-match moment.
Craziest in-match moment. Well, okay. So at one of my death matches, I got hit in the back of the head with something. Don't know what it was. Blood was just gushing out. And at first, I thought it was a little bit like a hands full of blood. Then I could feel it coming down my back. So I was like, all right. So I'm bleeding up. So let me get a few more minutes. And 10 minutes later, the match was done. Another 30-minute drive to the hotel to get washed, and my girlfriend super glued everything shut. But yeah, just getting hit in the head. I don't know what it was, but I could just feel it. And I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Hard to beat that as far as crazy moments. I know I've witnessed my fair share of what I feel like are some crazy ones. The couple that I like to tell the stories about. I mentioned that I'm going to Wrestling Revolver here this weekend. Last time I went,
Yeah.
they had what I consider my first legit death match, and not one of those that it's like they call it a death match, but it's basically just a standard hardcore rules match. This one was Jake Chris versus Joel Bateman, and they ended it by taking 4 folding chairs, bridging 2 panes of glass on them, and then Bobby, Jake's manager, all of a sudden rolls in, brings out this lighter fluid, and lights the glass on fire.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I'm actually gonna be meeting them both again this weekend, and I'm having Bobby on for recording, I believe, next week. So is gonna be able to relive that all over again. But I was just remembering the other one, ladder match, ladder bridge between the guardrail and the ring apron. My friend who was in the match has this guy on his back, and all of a sudden he jumps, ladder V just folds right in half. I'm like, ow.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably hurt.
Yeah. And funny thing is, later this month, that same match is a recurring one for the promotion. That same friend of mine is in that match again.
So God. All right.
I can't wait to see what they got in store there. Next one, kind of going somewhat off of the last question. What is a weapon that you would like to avoid getting used on you in a match if you had the choice?
Oh, yeah, scissors. I don't want to work with scissors.
Understandable. I know that would be one that I would probably avoid. And I've heard some varied ones. Scissors are very understandable because, not only, good Lord, they're just, you have more than one. You have more than one thing to go into you. And it's just
exactly.
But I've heard everything from gusset plates, which another one I'd understand, and one that kind of surprised me, but when getting the explanation, it became understandable. And Alex Colon, when I had him on, he mentioned toothpicks, and it's like, I'm like, toothpicks. Then we got to talking, and it's like, yeah, you might luck out and get the whole thing out, but you break off the wrong piece, and then you risk having a piece embedded in your skin and getting all infected and shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that one, I'm like, oh boy. Everybody has their favorite things when, going out after the shows for grabbing a bite to eat. What would you say is a favorite food of yours?
Pizza.
Pizza, can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that. I know, you hear sometimes people say, oh damn, it is escaping me, but it's basically like any pizza is good pizza, really.
Yeah.
Although before I met my wife, I had never had pineapple on pizza, but now it's like, that's the one. Hamburger and pineapple. She loves it. So it's like, well, all right.
Yeah.
We'll get it. And then I won't say that I love it, but I'll eat it when I'm with her.
It belongs on pizza. So yeah.
Next one. What would you say is a favorite drink of yours? Alcoholic, non, or one of both?
Okay, so if we'll go with non-alcoholic, I like sweet tea. When it alcoholic, I'm always with vodka.
Mm, okay. Sweet tea. I I will I will definitely agree that's another one of my favorites. I My wife says I'm a bit of a Dr. Pepper fiend, which I
Mhm.
can't deny. But then most of my first year in the Navy, I was down south in Florida, Mississippi, Alabama. So I got spoiled on the good shit, the good sweet tea.
Right.
Stuff in like the gallon milk jugs and shit.
No, yeah.
But vodka, you know what? Vodka, that's one I don't have too often. I
Okay.
I seem to be, well, alcoholic. I seem to go more beer than anything, but liquor, it's probably whiskey or tequila for me.
Okay.
I I've I got some good stuff when it comes to tequila, like the stuff that is like if you mix it in something like a margarita, for example, you better be careful how much of the damn margaritas you have because you can
Yeah.
barely tell there's alcohol in it.
Right.
Last but not least, for random questions, what is some of the best advice you have for somebody wanting to get into wrestling?
Okay. You got to be ready for anything. You got to work out. You got to be able to take take the bumps, take the pain. And unfortunately, you got to be able to deal with the drama because in wrestling, there's a bunch of crappy drama out there, but you just gonna have to take it.
Very, very good advice. I know the little bit that I've been not necessarily in ring, but the enough that I've been around my friends in the business, I can definitely tell there's drama out there, especially in
Yeah.
independent wrestling. And if you can't take being around it, you might want to find something else.
But in my experience so far, there's been less drama in a deathmatch locker room than a regular locker room. Like I'm much rather be in a deathmatch locker room because we're all back there getting along. The other side, there's just high school crap. Just
Yeah,
that's my experience so far.
that is interesting. Which I mean, I can see it in a lot of aspects, but yeah, no, that's interesting hearing that the deathmatch locker rooms seem to get along somewhat better than other ones.
Yeah.
We'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ah, my dogs are acting crazy over there. But anyways, that is about all I have. But as far as upcoming shows, I'm not exactly certain at the moment when this episode will be released. But what are some upcoming shows you have?
All right. So March 18th, I got a big death match coming up with a guy named Lazarus Black and Raven Havoc. It's gonna be a
Ooh,
triple threat at promotions called See No Evil Wrestling. It's their first ever death match where the main event, it's a big deal.
ooh, okay,
Yeah.
that'll be a good one. That I mean, I've been familiar with Raven Havoc, so that'll be interesting to see that one. Do you know if they're streaming that anywhere, or if that's going to be like eventually released on like YouTube or something?
Oh no, I'm gonna have somebody actually record it, and it's gonna be uploaded on YouTube maybe a day or two after that. It'll be on there. That match at least will be on YouTube.
So I will definitely be checking it out because, just hearing, it's going to be one of their first death matches. I mean, hell, can't really want to pass that up getting to watch that, especially with the three guys,
Right.
you and the other two that you mentioned. Going to be pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, because Raven Havoc goes hard all the time. Lazarus Black, same way, and same with me. So it's gonna be like three titans colliding. It's gonna be an amazing show.
I can't wait to see it. Like I said, that is about all I have for tonight. Want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. And where can people find you social media wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on you, they can go ahead and get them there.
Oh yeah, definitely Facebook's the best way. I'm working on my YouTube channel right now, so I have all my matches lined up there eventually. But yeah, definitely Facebook and Instagram, best ways to contact me or anything like that.
I'll definitely, and you bring up the YouTube channel. I actually just subscribed because I noticed that you subscribed to mine, so I got you there. So I can't wait to
appreciate it, man.
Oh yeah, no, anytime. I can't wait to see what you got coming up for that. But like I said, that is about all I have. Thank you again, and best of luck there on the 18th.
All right, thank you very much.